So I've just purchased a quite large lot of some classic vintage Star Wars toys. There's a big bundle of stuff in here, and the day that I picked this up from the PO box, I also received a mystery box from a supporter of the channel. So I thought it'd make for a good unboxing video. Stay tuned.
Come with me, toy fans.
Hey toy fans, my name is Tony and welcome back to the Analog Toys YouTube channel. And first of all, I think I'm going to open the mystery box from Rex. Now, Rex did reach out to me via email, asking for the channel's postage address. He wanted to send me some stuff. This turned up a few days ago, but I've been a little bit under the weather I've actually had a pretty crappy weekend. I was bedridden for most of it with some sort of a virus, but I'm coming good now. And I feel bad, I haven't actually emailed Rex back yet to let him know that it has arrived safely, but I will do that straight after I record this. As I said, I have been under the weather somewhat. Okay. Dear Tony, thank you for responding to my email and providing me with the opportunity to reach out to you with a few small gifts. As I reference in my email, I have truly come to appreciate the great content you put out on your YouTube channel. Well, thank you very much, Rex. Much like you, I were inspired to serve by some of the patriotic toys of your childhood. Sorry, much like you were inspired to serve by some of the patriotic toys of your childhood, I too was inspired to serve my community. Listening to your stories really reminded me of how the experiences of toys of my childhood likely influenced my path in life. And just as your father is a collector, my father is also a collector. It sometimes runs in the genes, I think. So I'm sure that to some degree collecting is in our blood. Absolutely. I was certainly born to be a collector, thanks to my father. And I don't think I've ever said this before on the channel, but my grandfather, my father's father, he was also a collector of stamps. So 3 generations of collectors collecting slightly different things. I'm not going to read the rest of that. Not right now anyway. He's revealing what's in here. So, here we go. We have here from the Sioux Police Department. Sioux City, is that how you pronounce it? Dear Tony, I wanted to thank you for your military service and present you with a few of my department challenge coins. The most significant one to me is the SWAT coin. Having spent, is that 20 years as a SWAT member? Wow. I have many fond and harrowing memories. I'm sure you and I could trade some good stories. Please consider the coins a token of respect and admiration from a fellow operator. Signed, Rex. Rex, thank you very much. Yeah, and we have here the Sioux City of Iowa Police Challenge coin, which is very nice. It looks like a police chief badge. That's really cool. Can go in my challenge coin collection. The Sioux City Police, it looks like a sheriff's star, but then on the back you've got the take it out. The Sioux City Police Department. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And the Police SWAT Challenge coin. Very, very nice. Rex, I've got a bunch of challenge coins in my collection, and I can't wait to add this to that display. Thank you very much, sir. And what do we have here? This is very cool. We have here, this is like a 1 to 12 scale. Keith Knight's going to love this stuff. Yeah, this is like a 1 to 12 scale SWAT officer. With his MP5. That's very cool. Very nice, Rex, thank you. And, whoa. Check out this guy. a 1/6 scale SWAT officer. All the tactical gear, he's got magazines in his thigh pouches. He's got the M4, I love that rifle. This is very nice, but damn, he's got smoke grenades in pouches and everything. Rifle mags. And there's some more bits here. Whoa, this is getting very cool. Thank you very much, Rex. Is this oh, this looks like it's for the smaller guy. We've also got here a riot shield, which I believe is for this guy. Bit small for the other one. And a battering ram for a forced entry. Thank you very much, sir. This is very, very, very kind, and it is really nice when, whether it's ex-military or law enforcement, you know, any kind of viewers of the channel who have served, like you know, that we have that special connection, and yeah, it's really cool to meet other ex-service members or law enforcement members or emergency service members who are also toy collectors and tell their story of being inspired to collect because of the toys of their childhood, whether it was G.I. Joe or whatever it was. It's always, it's a familiar story to me, and I really appreciate it when fans of the channel reach out.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Now we get on to the lots of Star Wars. When I say lot, like, I bought it in a big bundle. Not everything in here I need, and not everything I wanted. But there was a bunch of items in here that I did want, and being able to buy it in a bundle made the individual items a little bit more affordable. I'm like, well, I've got uses for, you know, 70% of the stuff in this lot. And it's from a toy line that I collect, but it's like which is Star Wars. I think I already mentioned that, didn't I? But it's from a sub-series of Star Wars that I've technically haven't officially been collecting. I've kind of just started collecting. So you'll remember that when I was in Japan on that big toy hunting trip earlier this year, the biggest and most expensive item that I picked up and brought back was a boxed large size Kenner Boba Fett from the original large size Kenner collection. And here we have a whole lot of other vintage Kenner Star Wars figures. They're not all in perfect condition, starting off with Luke Skywalker. This guy has seen some better days. He's missing he's missing all of his accessories apart from his clothing. His pants do have some staining on him. This was the only large size figure that was in our household in childhood, and it wasn't mine, it was my older brother's. And then as he aged out of toys, I don't think there was any of the clothing or accessories left when it got handed down to me. And because I didn't like his articulation compared to Action Man, he was always the Jeep driver. I just dressed him up in some generic army clothes and put him in the Jeep, and he was the Jeep driver because he couldn't pose and hold rifles quite like Action Man figures could. But when you're a kid, you know, you want an army build, you want as many as possible, and a way to add another 12-inch figure to my collection was to get Luke to be the Jeep driver. So this basic figure's not in bad nick. But yeah, the clothing, I don't think those pants are, that almost looks like a burn mark. But as I said, not everything in this collection I knew was going to be displayable or, you know, be put on display in the collection room, but there was other stuff in there that I wasn't really interested in.
From Kenner's Star Wars collection, each sold separately. Large-sized Darth Vader with his lightsaber. Princess Leia, champion of the rebel cause. With her defender, Luke Skywalker. You can swing him into action on his grappling hook. And load Chewbacca's laser crossbow. Star Wars large-size action figures. up to 15 inches tall and ready for action. Large-sized Darth Vader, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, each sold separately from Kenner.
So now, included in this set, is a large-sized Kenner Boba Fett, which I obviously already have. However, if this one is in better condition than mine, I'm going to upgrade, and he does look to be in better condition. Now, one of the things with these Boba Fett figures is where the rubber hands join the injection molded plastic of the wrists, the plastic melts over time. But yeah, this figure looks to be in better condition. But again, if he's not, I can always sell him on. You know, I'll get a few quid for this guy. He's got the cape, but it's all frayed there. But hey, who doesn't want a second large size Boba Fett in their collection? Yeah. I can always move him on at a toy show in the future or something like that. I don't know why, I've always wanted, there's two particular figures from this line that I've always wanted. And I think now that I've got them and Boba Fett and there's more in here, I think I'm going down a rabbit hole of collecting the large size line. But yeah, I've always wanted C-3PO because it's just such an iconic toy. He's in pretty good condition. The shoulder joints are quite loose, but that's okay. I've got methods of repairing that. But you know, most of the vac metal is in pretty nice condition. It's not perfect, but you know, the toy's almost 50 years old. It's as old as I am. In fact, probably a year younger than I am. Very, very displayable. Yeah, 1978, so a year younger than me. Very, very nice piece. I'm happy to add him to the collection. So as I said, there's two I've always wanted, and the other one is R2-D2. This guy turns up fairly often. Never in perfect condition though. As the plastic yellows, you've got the vac metal on the dome, which this plastic isn't too bad. There are a few spots here, especially where you've got like the knobs and things on the dome where the chroming has come off, but I think a chrome pen will touch up a lot of that. He's got the clicking sound, just like the 3 3/4 inch figure had. Got the wheels on the bottom of the feet there. But the key thing with this guy is making sure that in the back panel in the back, he has the Death Star plans. And we have both of them in there with really, really nice stickers. So obviously recreating that scene on the Tantive 4 at the start of the first Star Wars movie. You know, Leia just slips a disc into the front, but this was a way for kids to kind of role play that and actually keep the Death Star plans in the back of this droid. Very, very cool concept for a toy. Is there? Oh, I see. So you close it. There's a little push button. Never knew this. There's a little push button at the front that actually I was able to prise open the back hatch with my fingernail, but you can actually just press that and it pops open the back panel, and there you've got the hidden Death Star plans. Very nice. So I've now got those two iconic Kenner large size Star Wars action figures together that I can now display with my box Boba Fett. I didn't know this was included. When I purchased this lot, I don't think this was in the photographs. But we do have a Boba Fett backpack. And this is definitely in better condition than my one. So maybe I'll just swap out that one part of my box Boba Fett. What we've also got here Carrie Fisher after a bender. She's been on the cocaine all night. Yeah, this doll's going to take a lot of work to fix up. I don't think I'll bother. This, I obviously want to add Luke and Leia to the collection eventually. I don't think it's going to be these two figures. I think these will just get, as I said, I bought it in a big bundle for a good price. I think I'll just move this one on at a toy show for 20, 30 bucks, whatever. Yeah. Kenner did a really good job sculpting these action figures, but this one's got, it's got a bit of a rub on her nose and a messy hair. That's post-bender Carrie Fisher. But this last one here, this one is definitely gonna go into the collection. The most iconic Star Wars character of all time. And this is not broken Vader. This guy's got his arms. It's the large size Darth Vader. He's about 15 inches tall. Very, very good condition, this guy. Needs a bit of a clean, but that's not a big deal. These turn up all the time, but what doesn't turn up is the lightsaber. And we have that in here. And there we go. Vader with his lightsaber. Get a load of that one, BV. You can't hold that, can you? DV. Very, very nice. I'm sure I had one of these guys in the collection years ago. He didn't have the lightsaber, so he got moved on at one point. I mean, I've had Boba Fett a couple of times. It's a line that I never really thought I would kind of go down that rabbit hole, but now that I've completed the entire run of the Kenner 3 3/4 inch, there's still play sets and a couple of vehicles I'm looking to acquire from the original Kenner 3 3/4 inch range. But I suppose the next big collecting challenge for me is to get all 12 of the large size figures. So the 3 that I'm definitely adding to the collection from this haul will be Darth Vader, R2-D2, C-3PO. I've already got Boba Fett, and have I got a Stormtrooper in the mail? I think I purchased a Stormtrooper recently, and he's in the mail. Yeah, I've got a large size Kenner Stormtrooper heading my way later this week. So I guess I'm now collecting the large size Kenner range of action figures for Star Wars, and I will obviously eventually make a video about them, but you're going to have to wait for me to acquire the rest. It's not going to be a quick process. Like IG-88 is a very expensive figure. The Jawa's not easy to get. Han Solo's not easy to get with the original metal, and I want to get them with original components. I don't particularly. I'll see what the cost difference is between getting a Han with an original metal and one with a repro metal. Luke, I definitely want all original. I want to get a minty Luke, all original with the lightsaber and the grappling hook and everything, because that's a toy that I had. You know, it was my brother's toy in childhood, and he was worse for wear when he got passed on to me, but I have childhood memories of him. I can remember him when he was complete, and it was my brother's toy, and I didn't really know what Star Wars was at that time. It was probably the very first Star Wars toy we ever had in our house. My brother would have probably got that in 78 or 79. And by the time I was getting into Star Wars, it would have been more around 81, 82, the Empire era of the 3 3/4 inch stuff. So, yeah, I thought that'd be a pretty cool haul to show you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you also collect the Kenner large size range, and if so, if you've got them all, and any hints and tips and tricks you've got for collecting that line, things to look out for. I'll be interested to hear the advice of other fellow collectors, because I'm really not as familiar with this larger scale range. Never paid too much attention to it, and for some reason now that's my new focus. You know, last year and the year, you know, it was Kenner superpowers. I go through these phases, and I guess I'm moving on to now this large size Kenner range. All right, thank you all for watching. Thanks again to Rex. You're an absolute star, mate. I really appreciate you reaching out to the channel. And for the rest of you, I will see you all in the next video. Cheers.
It's the new Boba Fett Star Wars large-size action figure from Kenner. Darth Vader sold separately.
Capture them alive! I'm the best bounty hunter in the whole galaxy. That's why you got the job.
Boba Fett has a see-through helmet with play rangefinder to locate your objective. You can move his legs, knees, arms, even wrists and elbows. His backpack unit is removable.
You have your mission. Good luck. I don't need luck. I'm the best.
New Boba Fett Star Wars large-size action figure from Kenner. Darth Vader sold separately.